Hello, my beautiful water signs. What? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and try to get Earth and Water's video done tonight. I am in such an unbalanced energy, right, for the water signs. And I'm so, one minute I feel angry and the next minute I'm very emotional. And so I went ahead and pulled like the beginning of our cards because I knew that this was going to be very intense as I started doing this, and it is, right? And so hopefully, if you just kind of bear with me, we'll get to it and we'll start to clarify where this energy has taken us, right? But first I pulled out some clarifying cards because I'm trying to stay grounded in my energy, but I'm just channeling so many different emotions right now that I just felt like there was more that needed to be out, right? And so the first card that you pulled was perspective, a calm and clear mind, which is exactly where I feel it's so. A calm and clear mind is free to see differently, right? And so here you are, right? Water signs, you're usually the lighthouse, right? Shining the light, being the beacon, right? And then you also pulled water magic, right? Which is, it's about your perspective and the way that you're seeing your emotions this week, really trying to balance out. Sorry, I just seen an orb fly above my head on camera, so that just kind of caught me off guard for a second. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's like this channeling energy that I'm in has just got me in such an energy like, what the fuck, right? What is really going on? So I really wanted to get deeper into this. So now that we know it's about the perspective, right? How you're seeing and how you're being the light in your emotions, what you're learning, right? The wisdom and the knowledge that you're bringing into this energy, with it being your perspective, right, of your emotions. The first card, well, we'll go with the two cards first here. The first two cards we have day and night and transformation, right? And so the way I'm looking at this is, I mean, even the face on this day and night is really about the balance, which goes along again with that perspective and that water magic, right? Dealing with your emotions and trying to find some happiness in this so you can go through this transformation, right? Because again, this transformation is looking right at day and night, looking at how you're going to transform this energy, right? This information that you're receiving, or the perspective of the way that you're looking at this energy. So learning how to balance this week is going to be very important between your happiness and your emotions, right? Because that's where the transformation is. Because after the transformation, you have my home is my castle. And for me, it's like you're carrying all these dreams on your back, right? All this energy. But if you look close enough, you'll see that there's like all these weeds that are kind of growing in here, which goes along with that day and that night, right? It's like, how am I going to get this, right? Because here's where you are, and here's the dreams that you're carrying, right? And it's almost like in order for this transformation, you have to flip your vibration, your energy, like day and night, right? And so it's like, here's what I have to offer, right, which is right here, but then it's like, here's all your dreams and everything, and it's like it's almost like you gotta de-weed your emotions, because then the next card is pure nature, right? And here's that my home is my castle, right? Looking, and here it's like, here's where you are, right? And here's where you need to be, which is just like this, right? all this beautiful energy. It's like, how am I going to get to the pure energy of blossoming and blooming when this is what I'm given, right? It's like I have to go through this transformation, this rebirth energy in order to get here and be naked and raw and pure, right? In my emotions. And it's like trying to merge these two together, because you have that day and night, and then you have the transformation, right? And transformation is kind of looking at you like, well, we got to find some happiness in our emotions, which very much goes with that water magic, that perspective, right? Of a calm and clear mind is free to see differently, right? Which is why it's like for me, this energy here is all your dreams that you're carrying on your back, right? It's like all these castles, this big luxurious, what you're used to, right? And here, right, is what you're being offered, or what you have to offer now is this here. And so in order for you to be at the pure rawness of where your heart chakra's got to be, you got to go through that transformation. You have to de-weed some of these dreams, right? And we have to start small is almost how I feel it. It's like starting small, because your next card is home in the sky, right? And so this is like, to me, this is very much my home is my castle, right? Right? Looking at this energy, and then it's like you need to pick up and move to a different location, see it in a different energy, right? Because the next card after that, my home in the sky, is looking right at red garden, right? See, and that's why I feel like it's almost like after you de-weed, right, and start small, right, to rebuild and be in the purest of heart, right? Because then it allows you to go through this transformation of energy, right? And then it allows you to fly, because then even with the red garden here, she's looking at home in the sky, right? It's almost like you de-weeded up here to go through this transformation, right? With day and night, switching your vibration, saying, look, if I got to start small, so be it. I'm going to start small, but I need to get to the rawness. I need to start clearing here, right? So I can step into here, so I can start to blossom and bloom, right? Because then you're left with a garden, right? And not the weeds that are taking over your dreams, which then puts you back in to that pure nature state, right? Being raw in your emotions, saying, okay, if I'm going to start small, I need to pick up and I need to move, because that's the only way I'm going to grow from this energy, right? Because then you have Mermaid's Love and House of Flowers, right? Which very much goes with, you pick up and you move this energy from home in the sky, right? Home in the sky is very much, you can leave whenever you want and come back to this, right? But that's where you're going to blossom and bloom in this energy, which then Mermaid's Love puts you back in that day and night energy, right? Being grounded in your emotions, which puts you in the perspective of your emotions, which were the first two cards that came out, right? But then with House of Flowers, see, now you're grounded in masculine, feminine energies, grounding your energy. And it's also very much about being in your emotions, right? Being able to just pick up and go in your emotions, which then gives you the House of Flowers, right? Everything starts to bloom. It starts within yourself, right? The emotions, how are you going to get to this energy? Because your overall ending energy was very much about liberty, freeing yourself, giving yourself some peace of mind, right? Freeing yourself from this cage of being locked down, right? And again, it goes with that day and night energy that you were first being asked to find some happiness, right? And get out of here and deal with these emotions, de-weed it, right? So you can free yourself, which then you're left with, after you free yourself from this energy, you're left with the rose garden, right? Here's your transformation, and here you're left with the garden. Now you need to, it's like stopping and smelling the roses because you're in bloom, right? Now you're able, because you freed yourself from this cage, right? And allowed yourself to go through this transformation with the rose garden, and now your garden is starting to bloom, which is your house of flowers, right? It's like you have to do this work and make the choice to figure out how you're going to get there. Because then you have to the moon and back, right? This is traveling in your emotions to get to this energy, so you can blossom and be in this rose garden and free yourself and give yourself some justice, some balance, some liberty in this lifetime, right? So it's like so very scrambled in my energy that I'm just like, man, this is so deep. So now we're going to just get down to it, and let's just start clarifying. So let's find out about this day and night energy. What are we trying to get in balance here? Knight of Wands with the Page of Wands, right? Seeing the fires, the passions, and the desires, and making movement in that balance, right? Because there's the black and white energy, right? Being able to move on your spiritual journey because you took the time to see it in a different perspective within your own emotions, right? This is making a choice for you, for your family, for the things that are going on in your life, which is why the transformation card is next, because that's what you're trying to transform. So let's find out. See, yeah. Because the transformation, even doing it this way, transformation is saying, look, it's time to make a choice with this Two of Swords, because the portal is open, right? How are you going to go through this transformation and move this energy forward? Because even this is a butterfly, right? It's over her third eye, crown chakra, right? This is all the heart. This is the heart. Here's the moon cycle. So Spirit is telling you, in order to make it through this transformation, you have to make a choice on what it is that you're doing. And whatever you do, the portal is open and you will be in divine protection. You are being supported, because after you make the choice to go through the portal and go through this transformation, now you have my home is my castle, right? Now you can de-weed this and make a movement. So let's clarify. My home is my castle. Yeah, see, because then you're moving it forward. You're being guided by the divine into safer, calmer waters. That's really beautiful. Yeah, see, because then you're looking at it, de-weeding this energy and understanding that you're moving into safer, calmer waters. You just had to make the choice on how you were going to get there and be of pure heart, right? There's that pure nature, right? Learning to start from nothing, a bud, and then using it to bloom in this energy for liberty, for justice, right? So let's find out about the pure nature energy, Spirit. What do we have for the pure nature energy? So in order to get down to the rawness of heart, right, this pure energy, being able to start and speak your truth, right, you have the Queen of Swords, right? It's about speaking your truth, working with the divine, because the portal is open and you are to make a choice, right? So here's Temperance, learning to ground, which there's your day and night, making movement in your fires, passions, and desires. with the Seven of Wands, right? You don't have to defend yourself. It is what it is, and it's time to make that movement, make the climb, speak your truth. You can't hold your truth in, right? Because then you have the Eight of Pentacles, because then now you're starting to rebuild, right? Understanding that not everything is going to be perfect, which makes sense why in this, my home is my castle, right? The castle is all covered in weeds, right? It's like you got to de-weed this and start small somewhere, right? And be able to move this energy because you're being guided into safer, calmer waters. Into your fires, your passions. Yeah, look, even there's butterflies right here, right? It's like you have to transform this, but you're responsible for the transformation of what it is that you're seeing. I'm seeing sparks out of the side of my eye, so this is just water signs. I love you guys. You got me a mess right now. So this week's energy is very much about rebuilding. Not defending yourself, not saying shit, but speaking your truth and saying, I'm good. This is where I'm going to move my energy now, because it's all about the movement, right? And your fires, passions, desires in spiritual journey, because you have the Temperance, balancing, working with the divine within your emotions. So let's find out about home in the sky. Yeah, see, because then it's the Four of Cups. See, it's masculine energy then is in heart chakra energy. And divine feminine is here's all these cups falling, right? And then just knowing that masculine has the cup, right? It's like the divine is coming in and saying, here's where you need to be, right? Here's your home in the sky. You got to be able to rely on this balance, which is why you started out with the perspective of your own emotions. With day and night, learning how to find some kind of happiness to be able to move through in your emotions. So the red garden is, yeah, you can't keep yourself stagnant or stuck. Look, it's only going to cause, if you don't de-weed and move to safer, calmer waters, right? It's only going to keep you stuck and stagnant, right? Which that Four of Cups reminds me very much of this mermaid's love. Being in your emotions and grounding that shit. Right? Because, look, these swords are like going through her legs and she's like bleeding and shit, right? It's like, you're going to have to take the loss or it's only going to get worse, right? You have to be able to build or start somewhere in learning how to balance this energy so you can get to the blooming, right? Your home, your castle. Freedom, justice, liberty, freeing yourself so you can step into the rose garden, which is why Spirit was talking about the pure nature of getting down to the rawness of heart chakra energy. All right, let's find out about this balance within Mermaid's love here, Spirit. What do we have? See, it's justice. When you're in balance, it's about the justice. There's that liberty. There's that justice, freeing yourself, right? Justice. You're going through, it's unfair. What you're dealing with right now, whatever this is, right? There's that energy where 1 minute I'm pissed off and the next minute I'm super emotional and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And all of us, see, it's like so crazy. All of a sudden I look up and then I see fucking orbs out of you got to be able to give yourself some justice. You got to be able to let this fall. You got to be able to balance out. You have to be able to rely on masculine energy to hold heart chakra. Because divine feminine it's about, there's that water magic. It's about seeing the emotions, right? So, yeah, that's why you're in that Queen of Swords, because you're like, fuck that shit. right? Here's the swords, which has everything to do with your truth, right? And the justice of learning how to defend yourself, right? And start over and create what it is that you're actually trying to build within yourself. So let's find out about this House of Flowers. House of Flowers, Spirit. Judgment. See, because then judgment has been rendered now. Right, here comes the liberty. See, it's about the justice, the freedom, freeing your mind, your heart, your soul, right? Allowing your body, right, to bloom and de-weed, right? Instead of carrying all this on your back and then looking at it like, well, this is not what I had planned, right? It's like this isn't what I had planned being here. This is what I have planned for myself. But you have to de-weed and get to the rawness of the emotions, because then you're making movement into this energy with the portal being open this week, right? To be able to build something healthy, beautiful. Which is why it's House of Flowers. And then after you give yourself the justice, you have the rose garden, the transformation, right? Because the roses, it's so beautiful. They smell so beautiful, right? When they start to bloom. Because you're blooming, you're building something, which is exactly what you were doing with the Eight of Pentacles, right? Seeing it, starting to build it. All right, so I want to find out more about this Four of Cups energy with home in the sky, right? Yeah, see, because it's about your emotions. Then you have the moon on the bottom, right? It's about the balance, the frequency, because that's how I see it, right? There's the frequency. Here's the moon, right? Justice, balance, taking leadership, right? Balancing and grounding out between your shadow emotions, the shit that's pissing you off, and grounding this energy out in divine feminine. Yeah, because underneath that, it's the Fool. See, there's moving, there's that movement, and that's the key. See, there's keys. That's the key. Key to the castles. See? Yeah. So let's find out about this Four of Cups, Spirit. And the Eight of Swords. See, the Four of Cups was exactly what I said. See, that brings in the abundance. See, because then you have equally giving. I told you it was about being able to rely on masculine energy, because divine feminine is heartbroken right now, trying to carry all this weight on where she thinks she should be. See, but you're putting conditions. There's the conditions, water signs. We can't be having conditions. It's about what we're building, right? Because then you're equally giving and receiving. In this Two of Pentacles, right? Balance. There's that mermaid's love, the balance. The Four of Cups, right? Being able to rely on masculine energy, because then you have the Ten of Pentacles, because that's what gets you where you need to be, and that's what makes it fruitful. Closing out a lack cycle to be able to rebuild. Let's find out about this Eight of Swords energy. Spirit, the Eight of Swords, keeping yourself stagnant or stuck. See, it takes you back to your perspective, which was the first thing, the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is all about looking for a different perspective. And what was your perspective? A calm and clear mind is free. Justice, liberty, freeing yourself, giving yourself peace of mind to make and see life differently. In heart chakra, because there's the water magic. This is crazy beautiful. So you're looking for another perspective to be able to move forward. right? But now I just noticed in this card too, look, she's using these swords that they give her, look, to cut these ties that bind, right? To cut herself free. That's the perspective you're supposed to be looking for this week. Because right now you're in wounded human ego, which is keeping you stuck. And that's why you got to start small. That's why I noticed that. Because then you close out with the World card here. You close out karmic cycles to be able to move into this justice and balance with Mermaid's Love and the House of Flowers. You're able to bloom. Yeah, see, because then it gives you the Ace of Cups. There's your new emotions, right? Learning to cut yourself from these ties that bind and not keeping yourself stagnant and stuck, which makes sense why this red garden was all about looking at home in the sky. Like, are you going to free me so we can move forward in this energy? Because once you take and look at the perspective about how you're freeing your energy, you get out of wounded human ego, close out a karmic cycle that's not serving you for your highest and best good, because now you have the Ace of Cups. New beginnings, new energy to move forward. In balance, which is there's that day and night, right? Because now you've got justice and liberty. And you have freed yourself and given yourself the purity of your own emotions to build your House of Flowers, right? Which is why the House of Flowers, see, it's all about the judgment coming in. Whatever you start building for yourself is what there's that judgment where there shouldn't be spirits coming in and blowing the horn saying, look, this is where we got to be. This is how we got to build it. So let's pull. We're using moon magic since we have the moon cycle coming up, and I'm so, well, yeah, because we ended in the moon energy here too for new beginnings. And underneath these new beginnings is the World card, which you had in your Eight of Swords, and the Lovers. There's that Mermaid's Love, being able to rely on the Four of Cups, right? The Lovers, because then it gives you the Wheel of Fortune turning in your favor, right? See, because it's like all of a sudden you're dealing with all this shitty shit, right? And then once you get the Wheel of Fortune turning, now all the good will start coming back in, because now you're relying on divine masculine energy in the Lovers to equally give and receive. See, divine masculine has got to be in heart chakra, and so does divine feminine. Divine feminine is taking the hit right now in heart chakra energy. I am ready for something bigger, better, and brighter. Hells yes, you are. I am courageous and powerful. Queen of Swords. One more, Spirit. I am open and responsive to the abundance of the universe. See, you got to be able, they're guiding you. You've got the Star card, right? This is that celestial energy, boom, right? Which we're experiencing that over the next, even over the weekend, right? It's these galactic showers are just cosmically, it's so beautiful. I was out watching the twinkles last night of all the meteor showers that were going on, right? Best time to make wishes all fucking weekend, water signs. So get in it. I choose to nourish myself and enrich my life, right? Putting home and family first and not keeping yourself in this yo-yo energy. It's about the perspective of what it is that you're seeing. How you're going to get from here to this lighthouse. Your emotions through water magic, manifesting. using this time to manifest what it is you want, but you can't have conditions about what it is that you're manifesting this week, because it does give you new energies, but you got to get out of wounded human ego to bring in these Ten of Pentacles, right? That abundance that you're looking for this week. So Spirit is telling you to go through this transformation, chase your fires, passions, desires. They're helping you to move into safer, calmer waters through the portal, the star card, right? By speaking your truth and being in the purest, rawest form of your emotions with the Queen of Swords, right? To rebuild so you don't have to defend yourself in the Seven of Wands. It's time to start rebuilding, right? Giving back to yourself, nurturing, right? Because they're telling you you are ready for something bigger, better, and brighter, and being open and responsive to the abundance of the universe with your courage and power, right? Taking your power back, equally giving and receiving within heart and ego to bring down this Ten of Pentacles. Look for that different perspective. Cut yourself free from these ties that are binding, right? That is keeping you from being in the purest form of the garden, right? Which is keeping you from blooming into what it is that you see, but it's giving you these new emotions and closing out a karmic cycle, right? With mermaid's love, it's about the justice that you're asking for in this lifetime, but you have to be the one to create it and balance it to get the House of Flowers, right? So justice can come in and there's no judgment, right? It's blowing the horn, right? And not dealing with the shitty shit, right? Not being in conflict of your own emotions, because you know that the Wheel of Fortune is turning in your favor, because you're getting new beginnings, which is taking this transformation, right? Closing out the world cycle because you're in balance and you want love in this lifetime. There's your justice. So much peace and so much love. This week is going to be very emotional, so you've got to keep your shit together this week. It really is about what it is. Start de-weeding. Start over, scrap it fucking all if you have to, but you have to start somewhere. You can't keep yourself stagnant dealing with the shitty shit that you're dealing with. You got to be able to cut yourself free and start somewhere for your own happiness, right? Cutting the ties that bind, that aren't doing anything for you, but giving you wounded human ego, because this is a karmic bullshit, right? So you need those new emotions to be able to free yourself and gain that justice and that liberty, that purity of heart and soul. I love you guys. I love you guys. I will see you next week.